Okay. Chat, what's good? Yo! Why is it making something? Okay, bro. Oh my god. Sorry, my bad.
For launch.
Okay, chat. So, chat, today we are going to be watching Starship Flight 12. I'm not... Remember, bro. SpaceX, please just spare me, bro. I ain't stealing nothing. SpaceX, just spare me, please.
Spare me, Daddy.
Shut the fuck up, Davey. Yo, somebody named Panthers fan. Yo, what's good? We got somebody in the chat, bro. Bro, can you actually just stop talking, bro? Why do you need to talk all the time?
6 p.m. Central Time, and we are just over 43 minutes away from the first
chat,
flight
we're away
of
from-
SpaceX's next
We're
generation
43
vehicle,
minutes,
Starship
chat.
version 3.
Let's go.
I'm Kate Tice, Senior Manager of
Yo,
Quality
let's
Systems
go,
Engineering.
bro.
And I'm Jake Berkowitz, a lead propulsion engineer. And today we're coming to you live from just outside the production floor at Star Factory, where the team's preparing for Starship's 12th test flight.
Yeah, it's been a few months since our last update, and
Yeah,
in
bro.
that time, the team has been working hard to completely redesign the entire rocket that you see there from the ground up.
Yeah, that's right, Kate. Starship version
is
3 has
amazing, bro.
undergone significant upgrades, taking everything we've learned from the previous 11 flights to make a vehicle capable of full and rapid reusability.
This includes everything from a new booster, new ship, new engines, to a new launch pad, new avionics, new software, and so much more. All of that hardware is just down the road at Pad 2, a little
Look at
over
this
a
thing,
mile and
bro.
a half
Look
away
at
from
this.
Jake
This
and
is
myself.
amazing.
And in our viewing area outside on the lawn, Starbase employees are
W.
excited and already starting to gather to watch
they're
today's
currently,
flight.
So, y'all, if you haven't
Yeah,
been...
and right behind us
y'all don't
are
know what
3 generations
SpaceX is,
of
bro.
Raptor engines,
I mean,
and
if you
today
haven't,
will
like,
be the first flight
known
of the
what
newest generation,
what's been going on at
Raptor
Starbase, if you are
V3.
basically, you've been
And the
knowing what
33
SpaceX
Raptors on
done,
Super
bro.
Heavy Booster combined to generate
basically just
18
working on Pad A
million
because,
pounds of thrust. You can
yeah.
see them all there.
That's a lot.
They
It's a
want
lot.
to turn it into the current
And it makes
iteration.
Starship by far
So,
the
yeah.
most powerful rocket of all time. And for comparison, we have over twice
Because
the
they
thrust
have,
of the Saturn V rocket
wow,
that carried
look
astronauts
at
to
that
the moon. And then here,
view,
of course,
bro.
you can see on ship, we have another 6 engines,
These
and
views,
3 of them
bro, these are
feature the
amazing.
larger vacuum-optimized nozzles called RVACs. And as a member of the Raptor team, I can tell you that we're all incredibly excited to put V3 to the test today and demonstrate the capabilities of our most advanced engine. And we'll get into
Yeah,
all
bro,
the
this
exciting
is
new
a W,
details
bro.
in just a few moments.
Yeah, that excitement is well warranted, Jake. Raptor and Starship V3 are designed to be foundational for the future of the program.
Oh yeah, they're
They're
expanding
designed
Starbase
to
too, by the
enable us
way.
to send payloads and eventually people all the way
This
to
is
the
actually
moon
W,
and
bro.
Mars, ultimately helping us
Shut
make
up!
life multiplanetary and extending the
brother
light
won't
of
stop.
consciousness to the stars.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we're planning to put Starship to work shortly by launching bigger and more powerful Starlink version 3 satellites. These new satellites aim to substantially increase capacity in orbit, strengthen the network, and deliver an improved experience for customers on Earth. Starship will also carry our upcoming V2 Starlink mobile satellites, which are expected to provide direct 5G connectivity from space straight to mobile phones worldwide.
Now, as a reminder for all of you watching at home, what we're doing today is a test. Like we mentioned earlier,
bro.
we've redesigned
got
the
these
majority
test
of this
flights,
rocket
bro.
and its systems. From
These
the
are actually
outside, for
Ws,
those of
though.
you that have tuned in before, it might look pretty familiar, but beneath the surface, it's all new. And the primary objective today is to put it all together in a real
Wow.
live flight environment.
This
In
looks
order to learn, we
animated,
gotta
even
launch.
though it isn't.
Yeah, and really it's the data we're expecting to get back from today's flight that's going to bring us closer to making Starship operational and unlocking the next generation of our future in space. So no matter the outcome of today's test flight, excitement is guaranteed.
Yep,
Most
it's always
definitely.
guaranteed. Trust
And
me.
speaking of excitement, Dan Hewitt is in a pretty exciting place. He's
Yeah,
stationed
but we
just
got Dan
outside of
back.
the Launch Control Center, a couple floors above us. How's it going up there, Dan?
Kate, It couldn't be going better. We have a blue sky outside. I'm beyond psyched. Hello, everybody. I'm Dan Hewitt
Yo,
with
what's
SpaceX
good?
Communications. It's been far too long. Welcome
This is
back
a
for
W,
another
bro.
Starship launch.
Can't believe we're
Things
finally
are
back here
looking
from
good. We are counting
October.
down. We moved into our window a little
Since
bit,
October.
but we are looking good right now at this moment.
This is
Behind me,
crazy.
you see the flight control team. They're on console, looking at the rocket, the pad, the range, the weather, everything as we count down to liftoff. We're going to be getting into prop load in just a couple of minutes, and we are counting down to a liftoff at 6:30 p.m. Central Time.
Yep.
The weather is
7:30
great. We haven't had a
EDT.
blue sky all day. There you can see almost nothing but that. We were fighting some
By the
upper
way,
level winds a little
7:30
bit earlier.
EDT.
That's why we moved into our launch window. But the great news is we are looking go for launch.
But they were originally
also, we're
scheduled
monitoring
for
the range, so
6:30
air and sea
EDT.
space out in the
But
Gulf and
they,
also in the Indian Ocean on the other
yeah.
side of the world. Not
They kinda
tracking any
postponed it.
issues there. Now, today's countdown functionally going to look
Shut
pretty
up.
similar to most people. There's a couple of differences in timing for some of those major milestones, like when we start loading
Wow.
propellant, when the diverter turns on and the water's flowing, when the engines start up. But otherwise, other than that, all of the hardware brand new. New booster,
Yeah, bro,
new
this is
ship,
good.
new engines, new pad. Let's nerd out. Let's dive right into it. So. There it is on the pad. Say hello to Starship
stream,
version
dumbass.
3.
Why you
As
keep
Kate
talking
noted,
anyway,
some
bro?
of the outside might look familiar, but we've made extensive upgrades across every single system. Start with the big picture because Starship still
Yeah,
very,
we got the
very
new
big.
suit.
Just over 407 feet tall, fully stacked, a little bit taller than version 2. With that extra stretch, we can carry even more propellant.
Wow,
but
this is
big
actually
rocket.
tall, bro.
The bottom half is our super heavy booster. And there are some pretty visible structural changes on
Might
the
not look
outside.
that big, but
We'll jump in.
it
You've
really
got
is.
version 3 on the left there, version 2 on the right. At the very top, we've changed from a one-time use hot stage adapter that used to pop off to one that's fully integrated for reusability.
This
And
is
Starship's
amazing,
Raptors
too.
are actually going to be igniting directly on top of the booster's fuel tank. The fuel tank pressure itself and then a non-structural layer of steel, it's what's protecting the top of that booster when we do hot stage separation. Moving down a little bit, we went from 4 grid fins to 3. We made them 50% bigger and higher strength. Just a reminder, that's what boosters
This is
using to kind of
amazing,
steer
bro.
itself
A
as
person
it's
could
flying
even
back
fit in there,
for a
too.
catch. We're also
That's
now
crazy.
going to use those grid fins for lift and catch itself. We zoom in a little bit and you can see new catch points now on those grid fin structures.
you look right there.
Moving inside the
It was right
rocket,
over
we
here, I
redesigned
think.
the fuel transfer
don't
tube.
know,
This is the
but it's
really
like
big
right in the
tube
middle on the
inside
grid
the
fin,
rocket
just
that's moving
under.
all of that liquid methane down to the Super Heavy's
see that, if
33
you saw
Raptor
that, like,
engines.
it's
It's going to
kinda
help
like
us flip
notched
faster, and we can now start up all of the engines simultaneously. This thing is big. It's about the size
delayed,
of a
bro,
Falcon
but-
9 first stage, which gives us the fun realization that we kind of put a rocket inside of our
Oh, yeah.
rocket. The very
Falcon
bottom of the
9, bro.
booster looks very different. You've got those new Raptor 3 engines that enabled us to delete the bulky heat shields, the engine shrouds that we had on the previous generation, and then all of the propulsion, avionics hardware for those engines are super tightly integrated now and protected by much slimmer shielding.
Yeah, bro.
Move on up,
Let's
second
go.
stage. This version of Starship is designed to carry massive orbital payloads. We're talking
That's
up to
why they
100
made it
metric
bigger, by
tons
the
to
way.
Earth orbit, the moon, and Mars. The biggest changes are pretty much all under the hood. We gave the propulsion system a clean sheet redesign, increased the propellant tank volume, and improved our reaction control system, our steering while we're on orbit. When we X-ray inside, the PEZ dispenser is now supercharged, a little bit of turbo, and that's going to allow us to increase the deploy speed for each of those satellites. Today, we're actually flying the
Yes.
heaviest payload we've ever carried on Starship. Eventually, we're going to launch with up to 60 of those Starlink
Heavy
V3
payload.
satellites.
Yep.
Just below that, just
Check.
below the
This is
payload bay
good.
near, and also down in the aft part of the ship, we've added new docking ports. That's going to enable us to link up in orbit between 2 starships, do propellant transfer. We also modified that main connection point where we load propellants into the vehicle for those future prop transfer missions. So a lot of upgrades tip to tail on the rocket, but powering everything, the Raptor 3.
Ooh, we got Raptor 3, bro. This is amazing. This is actually good, bro.
There they are, ripping in real time. These engines manufactured in Hawthorne, California, tested at our site up in McGregor. We redesigned their entire ignition system. We bumped up the thrust, so putting out more force, went from 230 to 250 tons force on those sea level engines, 258 all the way up to 275 on the vacuum optimized ones. When you look at
Now we got
all of the
stronger
generations of
engines,
Raptor lined up,
so you can get
all
to
of those
space
fiddly bits,
faster.
the sensors, feed lines, controllers, everything that you were used to seeing around Raptor 1 and 2, a lot of those have either been deleted, best part is no port, or they're internally integrated and protected inside of the engine itself. That'll let us dramatically cut down
Amazing.
on the weight of the engine, make it easier to manufacture because we are going to be mass producing these things.
These are
Now,
actually,
we
this is
make these
amazing,
Raptors
guys.
in Hawthorne. There's our Hawthorne manufacturing team getting ready to see their engines fly in space for the very first time. Huge shout out to you guys. You're all wizards. Appreciate you getting us
Hawthorne.
some vehicles on the pad today. But incredible amount of effort. World's best engineering team works here at SpaceX. Get this rocket to that pad ready to launch. And we've been trying to follow more of it and document some of it. And if you haven't seen it, check out our new docu-series, Starship.
Do we really need to see the flight test like we
built this
fly
rocket
again,
from
bro?
scratch. We've also built the pad from
I already
scratch.
watched
It's all
this,
kinds of new systems.
I guess if you guys want to
This will
watch
be the first
this,
time that we-
then I guess you can. If you no.
The journey of SpaceX is a journey to give humans access to the solar system and beyond, which is really the goal for Starship.
This is a W. This was a good series.
The impact that this rocket is going to have on the world, I don't think most people can really comprehend the change it's going to have.
This is such a wild ride. The highs are high, the lows are low, as we really work to get to ultimately launching people, which is going to be amazing.
It is not impossible just because it's far beyond what has been done before. We've proved that time and time again.
I can't believe SpaceX put so much work into this, bro. All for this to come out so good.
Full duration.
Bro. Full duration.
Oh man,
Yep.
like Dan said, we've got the world's best engineering team, and I love this docu-series because it's
Yes,
allowing
bro.
us to get a peek behind the curtains.
Yeah, the full thing is 25 minutes long, and I
This
think
is
I've watched
good.
it 4 or 5 times already. That's how good it is.
Same.
But yeah, so just as the team has been working hard on a brand new rocket, we've also redesigned the ground systems. The brand new Pad 2, they can see on your screen
watch
here,
the
is making
OLM
its
down
big
here.
debut today.
See that?
We took
And also
everything
got
we
the-
learned from operating on Pad 1 to create this totally new launch pad. Pad 2 is optimized for full and rapid reusability. We've upgraded our propellant farm with much more storage and more pumps to enable super fast filling for launch and relaunch. On the tower, we changed to shorter chopsticks, which enable even faster motion to better track vehicles flying in for catch.
Yeah, we also changed the actuators driving those
Okay, I think
chopsticks
we got,
from
like, about
hydraulics
31
to 100%
minutes left.
electromechanical,
There are about 30
increasing
minutes
their
left,
speed,
almost.
redundancy, and reliability. On the ground, the launch mount was completely redesigned, and if I had to describe it in one word, I'd say it's robust. With the extensive concrete and
Yeah.
steel cladding, it almost feels like you're looking at a battleship, not a launch pad. But it's also smarter. We've separated the fuel and
Nah,
aux
it looks
systems
more like
into
a launch
different
pad than a
compartments and
battleship.
repositioned the booster quick
But-
disconnects to be out of
Yep.
the vehicle's plume during liftoff.
Yeah, and perhaps the most obvious change, we've now got a bi-directional flame diverter. We said goodbye to the pancake, and a new top deck flame deflector to eliminate metal wearing down, which will help us get to zero refurbishment between launches. In fact, that new flame trench and the new chopsticks are featured here on our new Pad 2 launch shirts. This launch pad is
Whoa,
built
why
for
did they make
maximum safety
launch
and
shirts,
fast turnaround
like Pad
because
2
making
launch
life
shirts?
multiplanetary will require launching a lot of Starships. And as the countdown continues, let's change gears for a moment and head over to Tyler Lionquist in Hawthorne to talk about Starlink. How's it going over there, Tyler?
Cool, bro.
Hey, Kate, and
We have
thank you.
30
We're back in
I
Hawthorne,
mean, 30 minutes
and
left.
we have a crowd forming outside of Mission Control ready to see some Starships fly today. And like
Hopefully it
Jake
doesn't hold
mentioned
at
earlier,
T-minus 40.
on today's flight, we're deploying
40
20
seconds.
Starlink simulators, plus 2 modified Starlink satellites, which our team internally refers to as Dodger Dogs, because we stretch that V2 mini satellite propellant tank so that it sticks out from both ends of the satellite. You can see it right there. It is just missing some mustard and onions. So the Dodger Dog serves as a tech demo between the V2 and the V3 Starlink satellites. and will act as a platform for testing those V3 components. So the larger V3 satellites aim to greatly expand the network's capacity, while
Yep, they're
V3
right
hardware
there,
is
bro.
designed to support
my
faster
God, bro.
Wi-Fi and improved broadband speeds to
12,000.
customers while providing a significant capacity
V3 will
upgrade
take
from the
us
V2
here.
Mini. And in addition to delivering future V3 satellites to the Starlink network, we believe Starship will enable us to
V3s are
launch
gonna be
our AI
amazing, bro.
satellites. As you may have seen during the TerraFab event in Austin a
looks
few
so
months
cool,
ago,
bro.
Elon laid out the path to revolutionize cloud computing and AI infrastructure, leveraging the unlimited
just
power
had
of
more
the
people-
sun,
we're having more
targeting
people
100
coming in. Let's
gigawatts to
go.
1 terawatt of AI computing power annually. And from there,
This is
we're
gonna be
looking at
an amazing
connectivity
flight,
beyond
chat.
our planet too. Building on the technologies used to
Like,
connect
I know
people
it's
on
like
Earth,
28 minutes,
the Starlink
but
team's exploring using
gonna be
Starlink to
amazing,
enable
chat.
high bandwidth connectivity around the moon. With a constellation of satellites designed to connect to user terminals on the lunar surface, we could relay data back to our Starlink constellation in Earth orbit. So traditionally,
orbit.
deep
Hey,
space
that's
comms
cool,
have
bro.
relied on radio frequency transmission.
We need
This
better
new
stuff
design
like
would
this,
use
bro.
lasers to relay data back
would
to
be
Earth,
amazing.
which can massively increase the bandwidth available to future lunar
This
missions.
would be so cool.
We currently have thousands of lasers operating in our Starlink constellation around
They'll
Earth.
launch so many
Deploying that
Starlinks,
technology around the moon could connect it with hundreds of terabits of capacity. Together, this could provide
I
the
couldn't tell you
connectivity
how many are
backbone
in the
between the Earth
atmosphere right
and the
now.
moon and enable
Or above
gigabit
it.
connectivity anywhere on the lunar surface, providing data for rovers, habitats, and astronauts, and hopefully some incredible views for us
Hopefully
back
they're
on
gonna
Earth
go
too.
interplanetary
So all of
too.
that adds up to a lot of satellites. But the good news is that there's still plenty of space in space. But that said, the Starlink team takes space safety extremely seriously, and we work hard to encourage best practices across the entire industry so space stays open for as many people as possible.
There are tens of thousands of known space debris in low Earth orbit right now.
They also need to get rid of the
All of
space
that debris
too.
comes from
Now they're
man-made
gonna
activities.
they're gonna try and get rid
A
of
lot
the
of
space
people
debris.
talk about space being really congested,
clean
and they
it
show
up,
this
all up.
dust cloud around the Earth of all these points, and it looks like space is super, super crowded. I think if you take all the spacecraft that are in orbit, it's equivalent to about 3 aircraft flying over California at one time. So space is so much bigger, so many dimensions
clean
that
it
are
all up.
much beyond what we can comprehend.
Yeah, this is good.
But even though it's big, there still is a potential that these satellites
make
could
the
collide
atmosphere
and
more
could
healthy.
hit each other if we don't proactively share information.
The orbit of objects follow Kepler's laws of motion, explained by Newton's laws of gravitation. So they orbit the Earth in very predictable trajectories, as long as another force doesn't act on them.
Facts.
So you
Right
can
there,
reasonably
chat.
fit millions of satellites into an orbital shell with that math. Obviously, to make that happen, you have to have really tight coordination between all those satellites, and everything has to work really well together. Starlink satellites make something like 1,000 collision avoidance maneuvers on a daily basis. We predict that a close
Conjunction
approach
identified.
will
That
occur
means,
between
they'll-
another satellite or a piece of space debris. We use
They'll
the
basically
thruster of
capture.
the satellite to make a maneuver and keep away from the trajectory of that object and reduce the probability of collision to effectively zero. Because most of the actual collision risk comes from the surface area of the solar panels, we lower the solar panels to reduce the cross-section in the plane of the close approach to further reduce risk. On Starlink, I'm also excited to talk about a program we call Stargaze. Cameras on the satellites
Oh, yeah.
looking up into space, measuring the star field. You can imagine 10,000 satellites staring up into space and detecting all the objects in low Earth orbit. You effectively almost have a real-time view of what's happening in the low Earth orbit environment. So we began detecting objects and fitting orbits to those objects, and currently we're tracking about
This is cool
50%
'cause now
of the
we can
objects with perigees
see
below
the
600
orbits of them.
kilometers. This project has opened our eyes a bit to the activities that are occurring in space that are not being published. So we have many examples in Starlink satellite footage where an object came within tens of meters of a Starlink satellite, yet this was not predicted. This is extremely concerning because this type of incident could have resulted in a collision.
Yeah, they want to
Last
prevent
year
this
we
stuff
flew
too, guys.
165
They want to prevent
missions
this.
to space. As an industry
Falcon
leader,
9
we would
booster
like
right
to
there,
create
bro.
a community where all industry providers share data
First
back and
booster to
forth.
land.
They tell us where their spacecraft are. They track their spacecraft as soon as they're deployed. They make them available to others so we know where everyone is. You know, there's some thought that if I keep my satellite position confidential and I don't share that with anyone, no one will know where my satellite is. Well, I think that's really fictitious. So we at SpaceX, we've taken the opposite approach. We've published all our data, we put all our ephemeris data out, we show where our satellites are, we show where we're maneuvering, and I think we're now showing the industry that there is no competitive advantage by not sharing your data. We're demonstrating to the outside world what good practices are. We as an industry have a tremendous obligation at this time, at this formative state, to actually communicate with each other, share best practices, and be good stewards amongst each other. It'll make us better as an industry. It'll give us an industry of the future that will continue to grow, continue to innovate, and help every company to grow and generate revenue.
To maintain safety in low Earth orbit, it's incredibly important that we work together as satellite operators and are very transparent in the activities that we are conducting. I think that an irresponsible satellite operator is one who either doesn't know where their spacecraft is or where it's going to go, or isn't broadcasting that to the world. Space is big, but operators are not always predictable. We want to enable other missions, the Moon and Mars and interplanetary exploration. So ensuring that activities like that can persist for the duration of humanity is incredibly important. Fundamentally, I think the message to operators is to be transparent about what you're doing in space, transparent about where your satellite is and where it's going, and make sure you have the tools to ensure that that information is accurate all the time.
That it isn't causing problems with the hemisphere.
Starlink's future is bright and helping ensure space safety for all operators along the way. Now let's take a look into the flight profile for today's test. As we've mentioned a few times already, there are numerous redesigns making their debut today across the entire launch vehicle. In light of this, we want to keep our learning focused on all that new hardware and software, so we're running a flight profile similar to our last 2 Starship flights in order to minimize new variables.
But they're going to change the trajectory.
Yeah, we'll start with liftoff, where Super Heavy ignites 33 brand new Raptor 3 engines. We power through ascent ahead of hot stage separation.
I don't feel like this is going to happen. I feel like they might fail in flight, but I'm not.
Engines while still attached
I'm not
to
fully
Super Heavy.
guaranteed though.
We get to see
They haven't had any problems with
the integrated hot stage. Directional booster,
they haven't
flip,
had any
engine relight, and
problems
boost back
with the
using
vehicles
33
at all
engines.
during any of their
and after
tests.
coasting for a few minutes, the booster today will target a landing burn and soft splashdown a few miles off the coast from
Starbase. I think they could
Ship does a bunch of fun things like deploying 20 Starlink simulator satellites, 2 of them Dodger Dogs as we affectionately call them, single engine Raptor relight, and then re-entry. Everybody's favorite part, lots of fun Technicolor colors that will be brought to us by Starlink. And if all of that goes as planned, we will finish the test with a flip, a landing burn, and a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean. And actually, in just a few moments, thanks to Starlink, we'll be going live to the Indian Ocean and chatting with the ship recovery team stationed out there.
I'm so excited for that. That's going to be awesome. So cool. But sit tight, because first we're going to go to Dan for a quick status check.
They're going to have a ship recovery team. That's
everything's
cool.
still looking good. We are not tracking any issues technically on the vehicle or on the pad. Range status continues to be good, both the range out here in the Gulf and out in the Indian Ocean. As you can see, we have started our propellant load. That happened at about 36 minutes before T0. We're loading about 20% faster on pad 2 than we did on pad 1.
You can see
our flight director, Ty Huntington's back in the chair again. He was there for Starship's first flight test and 11 back for V3. He did that final go at about T-minus 1 hour.
I'd probably recommend coming back
first.
Maybe
that
at
happened at about T-minus 37.
Like 20
Booster
minutes
follows
maybe.
about 1 minute later, starting with its liquid oxygen and then its liquid methane. And then ship fuel is the last one to kick off at about T-minus 35. We're going to continue loading all of this propellant on board until about 3 minutes right before launch, 3 minutes 20 on ship, 2 minutes 50 on the booster. So we go pretty much right down to the wire. But as of this moment, still looking good. T0 set for 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Continuing to load prop, continuing to count down. All right. If you've been following along with these launches, you know we've been sending these suborbital and they splash down in the Indian Ocean.
Yes,
How the heck do we see some of that? Well, we have our recovery team, our Starship recovery team, and one of their primary jobs is to get those re-entry views and a whole lot more. We're going to take them now. We're joining them out in the Indian Ocean. We've got Seren Sinai standing by, taking a moment from the recovery ops. He might be frozen. Let me know if you can hear me,
the
Seren.
recovery team.
How's everything looking out there in the ocean?
First time we see him, bro.
Dan, I can hear you loud and clear. We're sitting in about 8-foot waves, but it's looking like a clear day, ready for a ship to come on through.
All right, man.
Yes, bro.
How many of these have you done? And like, walk us through. What's the recovery team's primary job out there?
I've done 6 and now 7 of these missions.
Oh my
and,
God, bro! Not
like,
the 6-7,
with
bro.
every mission,
Oh
we've
my
seen it
God,
evolve.
not that, bro. No.
And,
we don't
but
want
our primary
that.
goal has always been to clear the range. So just like we do over in the Gulf, the same kind of happens here. We send 1 to 2 boats out, and we make sure there's nothing in the area so that the rocket is clear to land. And then once we can guarantee that and have the rocket leave the pad, then we can proceed to imagery collection. So we have like...
I froze again. Bro, that's kind of
All right,
sucks.
we'll see if we can get him back. But they're out there in the Indian Ocean. I think everyone's familiar. They've got the buoy cams. They've got the drones that are going to be going up. So we're going to be cutting back to them live once they get.
Oh, that's the boat
right there. They've
right
been doing some practice stuff. We've
This
been
is
able
the
to shoot
ship
some of this.
recovery
And there you can
team.
see Seren
They're gonna put the
getting
buoy
those
out,
buoy
and
boats.
then
So
they're
they're
gonna-
basically out there. They're deploying these boats in the
So then we
splashdown
can
zone.
see this ship
If you get a live
land.
view from one of these boats, that tells you that we're pretty much nailing
Hopefully we
our
see that,
target
but
on
I'm not
that.
guaranteed
And
that
then
we
Seren and a
actually
couple
see
of our
that,
other,
though.
recovery
because,
folks out there are going to be flying
yeah,
drones. So
we're not-
hopefully
I'm not
get
guaranteed that we
imagery
always
of
see it.
Starship coming back. It's
I'm
super
not guaranteed
critical
that we're
for us to
probably gonna.
see just
That
how
I'm
that
not
heat shield
guaranteed that we're gonna
performed
see that
after
today
re-entry.
because
And
it
just
could
having
fail
them
during
out there
flight,
remote,
early
just
in
in
flight
the middle
maybe,
of
'cause it
nowhere,
mostly fails
plays just a
during,
really critical role in just rapid iteration.
The last times we've seen it fail
on
it
Starship
was
and its
during
heat shield. So,
ascent.
looking forward to
before
hopefully
stage
seeing some
separation,
views from them a
after the
little
boost
bit
back
later.
burn of the super
But for now,
heavy
let's head
land
back down to
at the
Kate and
landing burn.
Jake
Sorry,
for
the
the latest
landing burn of
progress
super
at
heavy.
Cape Canaveral in
the
Florida.
near the ship engine
Thanks, Dan.
cutoff.
Now, if
Yeah.
we want to get to the moon and then Mars as fast as
And
possible,
when
there's
ship
really
re-enters.
only one answer. Launch a lot more rockets.
Yeah, to do that, we're going to need a few more launch pads and support buildings, which is exactly what we're working on over in Florida. So originally built for Apollo and then the Space Shuttle, Launch
Yes.
Complex 39A has
So
flown
this is actually going to be for the
126
Falcon 9
missions
rockets,
since
which
SpaceX
already
reactivated
does
the
launch
pad
over
in
there,
2017.
and it's soon
Yeah,
going to be
it's
for
crazy
Starship.
that it's that many. Fun fact, I actually hosted the live webcast for our very first launch at Pad 39A, and it was so exciting to see that come back to life. It's also exciting to see how today, almost 10 years later, the ongoing construction and development that will bring a second launch tower to Launch Complex 39A. You can see it ongoing there on your screen.
This is amazing.
It's designed to expand our capabilities to support Starship launches in the
60
future,
minutes.
while also
Are we
continuing
go
to
for
support
engine chill
Falcon
yet?
Heavy missions from the
Hold up, I
original
gotta check
Apollo
next
Shuttle
space flight.
Falcon launch tower.
Yeah, and we're also building a Starship launch pad at Slick
yep, engine chill
37.
and everything's
And to support
ready.
the uptick in future
Engine
launches,
chill
there's
started,
Giga
but
Bay,
they haven't
a giant
explained-
assembly and maintenance
they haven't called
facility
that out,
designed
though,
to prep
so
Starships ahead of
that's
Florida
why
launches.
I'm
And when
seeing.
complete, this huge structure aims to hold 24 work cells in over 800,000 square feet of workspace. That's 24 rockets under one roof. It's
That's
absolutely crazy.
Gonna be so many.
Yeah. So SpaceX's future in Florida is quickly taking shape with our very first launches on the horizon.
Yes, a horizon that aims for regular trips to the moon. Now, staying with the lunar conversation, we're going to head back up to Dan, who has Starship Vice President of Engineering, Bill Riley, our favorite webcast visitor, to talk about the moon.
That's right, Kate.
Got
Yeah,
them,
crashing the
bro.
webcast again.
Yeah.
Bill Riley, VP of Starship Engineering. Thanks for coming, Bill.
Let's
we
go.
we wanted like a couple of minutes to geek out about the moon. Like Artemis 2 just flew humans around the moon for the first time in like 50 years, more than 50 years. I personally was wildly caught up in it. I don't know how you felt about the whole thing.
Yeah, I found it really inspirational. I think part of being a spacefaring civilization is being out there exploring, and I thought Artemis 2 got us back to the moon and back exploring and being out farther than we had been before.
It's always wild when you see space stuff kind of break through into the mainstream, and like it felt like that really did it. And I mean, that's going to continue happening. We're looking at a higher cadence of missions in Artemis,
We want
and
more
Starship's
missions
obviously going to play a
for
pretty big
Starship,
role in the
if you've
entire
seen
Artemis
the
program. But
SpaceX.
like, what's kind of next on the horizon?
I think what's exciting about Artemis 3 is you'll see the landers introduced now. So it, maybe we're talking to NASA about doing an Earth orbit rendezvous where the Starship-based lander could be in proximity to Orion or even more. I think that's really the next step. Prove out those landers close to home in Earth orbit, and then looking ahead, going to the moon.
And we're debuting V3 now, and
V3,
just some of the
bro.
stuff that's now on
That's
this
good.
version of Starship is going to directly enable some of that, or it's planned to, correct?
That's right. So V3 is exciting because it really introduces a lot of, it's designed to introduce all these fundamental foundational features that allow us to go out past the Earth. So for example, there's many features, but some that are visible are the docking adapters below the PEZ door that you'll notice on the as-built ship. And then as we look out past V3, there's other configurations of Starship. There is a tanker that takes the propellant to dock with the lander that will land on the moon.
I can't wait to see the on-orbit refueling,
The on-orbit propellant
do
transfer
it.
is sort of like the gas station in the sky. And then that gas station will be what we call the depot.
And then the plan now, and the plan's been, but it's really emphasized now, we're not just going for flags and footprints, we're talking permanent infrastructure on the moon, right?
That's right. We have to build up to that capacity. So the first landers will be, a new set of boot prints to kind of start a new generation of explorers. Then we'll build into cargo landers like you see here, maybe bringing down a rover to the surface. Some infrastructure might even be staying inside the landers. And then as we look to an even brighter future, having a permanent presence in a moon base.
Yeah, I'm ready for the moon base. I need to go to the moon.
That moon base
that's definitely in my mind. It sounds like a hell of a week-long vacation or one heck of a trip.
They could actually do this.
And I mean, this is like, this is the next step on making life multiplanetary, right?
Absolutely. It's literally the next planetary body we need to get to. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Bill. I'm going to let you jump back in there as we get ready to launch this rocket. Thanks for nerding out on the moon with me for a couple of minutes. But we're not done. We got a little bit more cool news.
I mean, yeah, Star Factory.
Last year, the From 2 crew made history. They were the first astronauts ever to explore Earth's polar regions from space in Dragon. I got to catch up with that mission commander from that, Chun Wang. He was visiting one of the most remote places on the planet, and he had some exciting news. Awesome to talk to you. Start me off. Where the heck are you right now?
Thank you for joining me to Fui Island, and this isolated island in the South Atlantic. It's arguably the most remote island in the world.
It looks super isolated. You're only there with a couple of people. Kind of feels like a space mission to me. So let's just jump right in. You are going to be on the first interplanetary mission on a Starship.
First interplanetary mission?
It's going to be a flyby mission of Mars. So, a lot of people are talking about how Mars will be like.
Bro, this is going to be crazy, bro. I'm probably going to be here to watch that mission, too.
City on Mars. But let's get it started with a flyby.
Doing a flyby of Mars, that's a heck of a trip, but you're kind of built for this kind of mission, right? Because if you're not landing on the surface, you're spending a long time going out there, you're going to fly by it. It's going to be like just an insane couple of hours, and then it's a big trip back home. How are you kind of built to handle this kind of a journey?
This actually my style of spiral. I can stare at the map view on airplane all the way from takeoff to landing. So
he was
I think I enjoy the trip.
So it's not just the Mars flight, you're also going to be taking a trip around the moon, right? So kind of do that step before heading all the way out to Mars.
It's going to be all the...
Yes,
it's going to be on both missions.
Even though it's just a flyby, it will try a lot of things that never been attempted before.
How do you kind of see these types of missions in kind of the grand scheme of everything?
It will light the fire. It will ignite imagination.
We got like 10 minutes left. I guess they got too much caught up in this. That they're probably going to miss the launch.
Come back from Mars, you'll have an opportunity.
And they're probably just going to keep talking about this. Oh, we got like 10 minutes left now. Almost exactly 10 minutes. So, yep.
Well, Chun, thanks for calling in from, the other side of the planet. Super cool location, super cool to talk to you. And I mean, exciting. You're going to get on Starship, you're going to go around the moon and then do the first flyby of Mars. It's insanely exciting stuff.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Oh, man. Fireworks
really is
indeed.
looking forward
Just
to that.
incredible
I'm looking forward to see that
be
happen,
one of
bro.
the first
I'm
humans
looking
to
forward to
become
seeing
an
that happen.
interplanetary traveler, while also joining Starship's first mission to fly past the moon.
Yeah, Chun is certainly a one-of-a-kind explorer. And it's even more exciting to know everyone can join a future Starship mission.
Yeah. If what you just heard excites you, challenges you, inspires you, we'd like to hear from you. Come join our team. Be one of the people walking past us out to the lawn to watch the world's best rocket launch. Help shape
actually
the
is the
literal
world's
future
best
of
rocket,
humanity.
I'll be honest.
Now, we need the best and the brightest, and we need you right now.
Yeah, and we have tons of openings all across the company where we're looking for talented engineers and technicians at all of our sites, including McGregor, Texas, where we test every single one of these Raptor V3 engines behind us. Bastrop, Texas, where we build and assemble Starlink user terminals.
We also need help up in Redmond, Washington. That's Starlink's global headquarters, where, among other things, we manufacture Starlink satellites. If you like the fall weather, that might be the place for you. And as you've seen throughout today's show, there is a tremendous amount of activity happening right here at Starbase, Texas. Here and everywhere, it's all part of the incredible opportunity that we have to build the future of humanity.
Yeah, so if you're interested, visit spacex.com/careers to see these and all of our other openings.
Now, I can tell you that the crowd is certainly starting to grow.
Yeah, because everybody wants
behind
to see
us,
this
you
thing,
see the
bro.
launch pad there.
Everybody wants to see
for
it.
yourself. Once again, this is the first flight test of Starship version 3. This will be the first time that we are debuting this booster, this ship, the launch pad that you see there. And you can see people walking over my shoulder here as our colleagues are moving in masses to go watch
Mostly
this
employees,
liftoff
though, so I don't know if you can.
Just over
I don't know
7.5
if you can go
minutes
over
from now.
there.
It's pretty exciting stuff.
It's pretty exciting, and as a reminder, we're only a mile and a half away here.
I don't
so
know if you can go out
we are
there,
very close, about as close as you can be, and we're definitely expecting to feel it.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jake.
Who is that?
Do we have a mic? Hello.
Who is that?
For those of you that might not know.
Who is that?
Welcome, Nikki. It's so nice to have
Oh,
you
it's
here.
Nicki Minaj, bro. There's no way.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely
what do you
no
think the Barbs
way,
are going to
bro.
say when they see you here at Starbase?
They better say all good things. But they're going to be excited, and they're probably going to come themselves next time.
This is amazing.
I mean, anybody can come and watch the launches. It's super accessible to the public, so we welcome that.
Okay, Barbs, come on down.
I think it is
a lot
public,
of fun.
actually,
I'm
so you
excited.
can go
Is
out
it about to
into
happen
the
any minute?
field
So
where
you
they're all
see
out,
that
like in the
number
background
right
over
there
there.
in the top left corner,
Look, it is
6.5
public.
minutes.
6.5 minutes?
left?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, but this is historic. This is a major moment, y'all.
Yeah.
It is.
Is this your first rocket launch that you've seen live?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
How do you feel?
First one, bro.
Very, very excited. I'm happy it's a good day.
Oh, the
might
mic
be
is
like-
glitching.
I
now.
just noticed your shirt. You've got the right swag.
I love this shirt.
It's a great shirt. I have one as well.
And it's a great name, Starship.
I mean,
Yeah.
how did you predict the future? Starships are meant to fly.
I do not know. But major shout out to Elon. Elon, thank you for everything that you're doing for humanity.
He's the man, for sure.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, I'll see
we
you guys
We want to watch
later.
the launch with you,
Okay, yes.
so we'll take this back because this is too loud to take outside. Wow, what a moment. And with that, great timing. We're now at 5.5 minutes. This brings us into terminal count. Dan,
Terminal
man,
count.
the anticipation
Here we
is
go.
certainly growing here in the lobby and out on the lawn. What is it like up there?
Yeah, we are ready to go. We are getting into the final phase of our propellant loading. We are almost entirely full on ship on our main, still doing the header tanks, and we're looking well in
Okay, bro,
excess
here
of
we go.
90% of the booster, so we are looking good. Still not
where
tracking
it starts
any
to get
range,
crazy.
any weather issues today, not tracking any technical problems on the vehicle, on the launch pad, looking good for liftoff in just under 5 minutes.
Here's what starts to
Once
get
we're
crazy,
done with
chat.
propellant
Here's
loading
what
on the
starts to get
booster,
crazy.
you
Let's
have
go.
over 11.5 million pounds of that liquid methane, liquid oxygen on those two stages. After that, we have to essentially get the pad ready for launch. We'll do something called pushbacks, where all of those lines running underground from the propellant farm up to the vehicle, they're going to clear back. They're going to push all that propellant back into kind of the bunker area around the prop farm. And just basically get the pad ready. We'll see the vehicles do their final thrust vector control checkouts. So when we snoop in, we should see the
hopefully they don't hold at T-40
checks.
Because they might.
That's how we
they might
steer
do
the
that.
rocket. We're going to do those at about T-minus 100 seconds, so a minute 40, and then once we pass the T-minus 40-second gate. If we do need to hold, that is still built in at T-minus 40 seconds. It's built into the countdown. We can pause if we need anything like those pushbacks to complete.
They might
if we need anything on the rocket to get ready, we can hold.
I feel like
there.
they might have
we'll
to
only
hold.
Stop if we have an
but
issue.
if they do,
not currently
then
tracking one. We have one item that might hold us up a little bit, just based off of what we've seen in recent static fires. But that's typically only been hanging out for a couple of extra seconds.
Oh yeah, the ground systems actually.
And then
not the vehicle itself, it's just the ground stuff.
T-minus 40 seconds, a lot of things will happen in rapid succession.
Yes. Hopefully they do make it. I'm not guaranteed if they will.
That moment is called the QD, or Quick Disconnect Vent Gate. That's when we clear all the gas commodity lines
that
connect the pad to the vehicles. Both the ship and the booster configure their comm systems for flight and are rapidly running leak checks on gas and fluid tanks. The booster goes to internal power and its engines get their final priming for launch, while the ship's engines begin their ascent bleed profile and arms the automatic flight safety system.
2 minutes 50 seconds, which that should be the fully loaded
we
on
still
ship
have the
now.
ability
It
to
should be
rapidly
fully loaded
recycle
on
the
ship,
count
so
under
we should
certain
be good
conditions
now.
back to T-minus 40 seconds and hold there to assess what happened, review the data, and decide if we can proceed again all the way down to T0.
I don't think we didn't hear it, but they probably
now.
Just said it.
The flame diverter on pad 2 activates at around T-minus 17 seconds, and it enters what is essentially the point of no return at T-minus 10 seconds. And there's a chance we could recycle, but the closer we get to T-minus 10, the lower that chance becomes.
You can see the vent down here start to begin.
All right, we are
I think
coming
the vent should be happens around 0
on the booster.
When it gets closer
Just
to
shut
T0.
Down the fuel pump for loading onto the ship, so we're closing all of that out now. 2 minutes to go.
Okay,
One kind of exciting aspect to V3, we're not going to start the
2
engines up
minutes
in
yet.
kind of different
2
sets.
2 minutes.
All 33
yep.
of those
We're getting
Raptors going
closer.
to turn on all at once.
2 minutes.
And you're going to see the booster move off the pad a whole
Here we
lot
go.
quicker.
We're getting closer.
Once again, if you've just joined
quality,
us, this is
bro.
the first flight for version 3 of
please
Starship.
Do not sell us quality.
The ship, which is the upper part, the black part
Dude,
there at the
it's not
top.
YouTube.
The booster, which is the
might
part
be able
below
to,
that,
actually.
have been completely redesigned, as well as the launch pad that you see it sitting at, as well as the engines that power both
Turn
the
off
ship
auto.
and the
Oh
booster.
yeah.
Today's test flight is a massive step forward in our development.
I need to have
program.
the best quality ever.
All right, and we're
We want
coming
the
up
best
here
quality.
on T-minus 1 minute.
Huh?
So let's go to the
Yeah,
pad
I think it
and let the
did.
rocket do the talking as V3 fully comes alive.
Nah.
T-minus 1 minute.
T-minus 1 minute. Let's go. Hopefully we get to the T0. I'm not sure if we will, chat, but here we go. Oh, we can see more of the vents start to build up and stuff. Oh, I think we might hold here. I feel like we're gonna hold here, chat. I feel like we're gonna hold here. Yep. Watch. Yep. We hold. We had a hold. No.
All right, so we did hit the hold at T-minus 40. Again, this is something that is built into the timeline. Not surprising, as we are doing this first flight off of pad 2. Sounds like we might already be clear. We held for a second just to make sure that the quick disconnect vents were basically ready for their final throwbacks. So we'll hang tight for a couple of seconds. I think we're about to reset.
Oh, we did it. We're out. Let's go.
Counting down.
We're going.
First flight to start.
No!
Psych, back to rapid recycle.
You have to be kidding me, bro. There's no way, bro. absolutely no way.
All right, so hold here for a second. Looks like we're still managing some pressures in the
Are we serious, bro?
Quick disconnect.
Oh my God. When are they gonna on hold, bro?
All right, still gonna hang out for a couple of seconds here at T-40.
Oh my God, I feel like they're gonna scrub for the day.
Not surprising. This is
they're
new
gonna
vehicle,
scrub,
new
bro.
pad,
They're gonna scrub for the
doing
day.
all these things for the very first time. Right now we are holding
the
looking
tower
at some
view.
pressures in the quick disconnect and hold reset, and we're rolling.
Oh my God, bro! They're gonna hold again. Watch this. They're gonna hold again. They're gonna hold again.
Flight directors, go for launch.
Oh, we're go. No, we're back, bro.
To rapid recycle, so we're gonna hold at T-40 again.
We gotta be serious, bro. Just stop, bro. Please. Please, bro. Say wallahi.
Trip this last one.
Say wallahi, bro. Say wallahi.
Reminder, we can hang out for quite a few minutes at T-40 if we need the extra time. You're not actively loading propellant onto the vehicle anymore, so the main thing you're kind of keeping an eye on is all of the temperatures inside those propellant tanks.
Say wallahi, bro. Say wallahi. My God, bro. There's absolutely no way that they have to hold this launch. Please, just on hold or else.
It's going to be a very unhappy Joe.
Shut up. Nobody was talking to me. Bro.
Alright, we're continuing to hang out here at T-40.
Please, no, please. Please, bro. I'm begging you.
Team's taking a look right now at our diverter, so that water diverter underneath the system did trip a hold.
My God, bro, the freaking flame diverter.
The chance to look at it, see if it's something
Stop,
that
bro.
we need
Stop
to
with the flame
troubleshoot in
diverter
data,
stuff.
or if it's something that we can clear this hold. So continuing to hang tight, T-40 seconds. Starship and Super Heavy,
bro,
fully loaded on the pad.
Oh, we're on holding, bro. Bet you there's gonna be another hold right here. Bet you there's gonna be another hold right here, bro. Bet. Watch this. One. Bet.
30 flight directors, go for launch.
Or go for launch again, but I bet you it's gonna hold again. Bro, are we serious, bro? There's no absolute way, bro. There's no absolute way.
And we kick back to rapid recycle again.
Oh my God, there's absolutely no way.
Again, just a
There's
reminder.
absolutely no way.
Said it before, new pad, new rocket. Learning new things about this hardware performing in the flight environment. Taking a look at some of the sensors on the arm that manages the quick disconnect to the ship.
Gotta be serious. Gotta be serious, bro. On hold, but then you hold again. Stop bending my chair.
We're not just trying to prolong the anticipation. Team's taking a look.
I bet you they're probably not gonna launch today. Bet you.
We've got a couple more minutes where we can hang out here. Again, it's not an unlimited time to pause at T-40. We're keeping an eye on the propellant temperatures inside the vehicles. So we've got probably about 3 minutes or so left of hold time.
Bro, no.
Team's taking a look at the hold that tripped on that arm for the quick disconnect on the tower.
Gotta stop jinxing it, bro. Because if I keep jinxing it, it's not gonna happen. This actually sucks. If I keep jinxing it, it's not gonna happen. I gotta stop saying it's gonna happen. So if I keep saying that, it's gonna happen.
Continuing to hold. Got a couple minutes to try and clear this issue.
Please. I would love if they launched today. I would love if they launched today. Let's see. Bet you it's gonna scrub. Bet you right here, bro. Shut up.
Still holding T-minus 40, still troubleshooting this issue. Probably got about a minute or a minute and a half left of hold time.
Yeah, bro. Bet you they're just gonna stop. They're probably gonna stop, bro. They probably are gonna stop. They never told you nothing. Oh, shut up. Bro. Oh, yep, I think...
Flight control team confirmed, still working through the issue.
Oh my god, that's... I guess we're done.
Still have a short amount of hold time still remaining.
Oh, I think we're just... I think they're done, bro. I think they're done. Yep, they're probably done.
Still holding T-minus 40.
Bro, I feel like they're done, bro. I mean, they probably aren't. They could still go.
All right, still continuing to hold here at T-minus 40. While we do that, the team's looking at temperatures of the propellant inside those tanks. We kind of check that against simulations that we've run in the past. There's some margin in those. We're still holding, no decision yet.
They might just decide. Probably.
Sounding like we have the fix in place.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna go.
Clock is rolling.
Don't jinx it, 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 don't jinx it. Fuck.
And we're back into rapid recycle.
Are they detanking now? It looks like they probably are. They probably are detanking.
All right, we're back at our T-minus 40 hold. Standing by to see what tripped us this time.
Oh, we're still sitting here. There's no way. How many times is this gonna happen? Bro, I literally am saying
it is sounding like we are not going to be able to clear this issue in time today. So we are going to be standing down from a launch.
Oh, yep, they're done.
So if you're just now joining us, we got the vehicle totally loaded. We hit a couple of different holds as we work through that count. Again, new rocket, new pad. We're learning about a lot about these systems as we execute them. for the first time, and we're not able to basically troubleshoot all of these issues in those final seconds to get to launch. But that essentially makes this a wet dress rehearsal. We were able to fully load the vehicles, and we're going to take the time now, figure out what tripped us up before launch, and then actually get into a flight tomorrow. We do have the ability to essentially rapidly recycle. We are expecting to be able to make another flight attempt tomorrow, but obviously stay tuned to our social media at SpaceX on X
and
our website, spacex.com, for updates. So no flight today. We will give it another try tomorrow.
Chat, that's going to be it. That's going to be it for today, I guess. I'll see y'all tomorrow for the second stream. I'm going to schedule another stream for tomorrow. And, sucks that we didn't launch today, but, well, we tried. They tried. But they didn't do it. So